What's up guys, this is DashCam Driver, and today I'm back with a quick review of a new dashcam from MateGo. Let's check it out. Before we get started, I will tell you that I was given this dashcam for free to do a review of it, but rest assured I will be completely impartial and tell you what I really think about this thing. So without further ado, I'm going to be talking about price, the contents of the box, video quality, and kind of design and ease of operation, and then some kind of final overall thoughts. The idea here is I'm going to score each category and then add it up for a total score. And as I post more and more dashcam reviews, we'll be able to compare them against each other to give you guys a better idea of which one is the best. Off we go. So this MateGo dashcam has one channel only, so that means it faces forward and there is no rear facing camera. 1080p, 170 degrees, so super wide viewing angle. And it is $69.99 right now on Amazon with free shipping. So in terms of price point, I feel like that's a little bit on the lower end. I feel like most dash cams kind of fall between the $75 to $100 range. So this is just kind of slightly under the lower range. So let's give the price on this camera a rating of 4 out of 5 steering wheels. So now let's go on to the contents of the box. In the box, there is of course the camera itself, the mount, the GPS, which is included. And then there's the power cable that plugs into your cigarette lighter. The description here, as you can see, doesn't actually say that there is a GPS or that it tracks your speed, but it does in fact include that according to the picture. And I was actually pleasantly surprised by this because a lot of cameras claim that they have GPS, but they don't actually include it with the bundle. You have to go and buy it later, which is more money, and it's kind of false advertising. So I'm glad to see that this camera actually does have it, and it is quite accurate. I checked it against my speedometer and it does effectively track your speed, so I thought that was very cool. What is not included in the box is a micro SD card. So for the contents of the box, the rating I will give this camera is 4 out of 5 steering wheels. I probably would have given it 5, but not including a micro SD card is a big issue for me. Now on to probably the biggest category, or one of the biggest, is video quality. So let's take a look at a couple of daytime shots and a couple of nighttime shots and take a look at what kind of video quality this camera is capable of producing. So you can see that this has pretty good video quality. Like most dash cams, it does have some distortion around the sides. If you look at this comparison, a license plate in front of the car, directly in front of the car rather, is easier to read than a license plate off to the side. And sure, the one off to the side is a little bit farther away, but for the minute difference in distance, the license plates that are off to the side, kind of in that distortion range of the camera, are far more difficult to read. And this camera is particularly challenged in this area. There's quite a bit of distortion, and I'll throw another example up right here. I'm turning into a gas station. When I make this turn, you can see the cars kind of stretching on the left-hand side, and that's an illustration of that distortion. Like I said, all dash cams have this, but this camera is slightly more challenged in that area than most that I've seen. Overall, though, I think it looks very good. So it's 1080p, it's 30 frames per second. For all intents and purposes, this is going to get the job done if you're looking for a good dash cam without spending a couple $100. Okay, so for the video quality category, I think I will rate this camera 3.5 out of 5 steering wheels. We are losing some points here due to the kind of the distortion around the edges, and also due to the fact that 1080 is very good, but there are a lot of dash cams out there right now offering up to 2K resolution. So I do want to talk quickly about hardware and software. So let's start off with hardware. I think everything here is very intuitive and very easy to use. It's obvious where you need to plug things in. The GPS just works. You can just stick it on the inside of your windshield and it works perfectly. You don't need to struggle with it to get a signal. The suction cup works very well. It hangs really tight onto the windshield, and it's very easy to apply, and it's very easy to clip onto the camera itself. The one critique I have about the hardware here is kind of the mounting mechanism in general. The camera kind of dangles from this suction cup that hangs from the windshield, and as a result, it kind of has a little bit of wobble. Like this clip right here, getting onto a freeway, going over a bump, you can barely notice a little bit of camera jiggle. Not a big deal, just something to point out. The next thing I like about this camera is that it does have an event marking button. I'm huge on this. I have to have an event marking button for all my videos so that I don't spend hours and hours looking for events in a huge pile of footage. So in the design category for hardware, I will rate this camera at 4.5 out of 5 steering wheels. Now on to software. There's a lot of software features on this camera. There's of course a G sensor, which if you're in an accident or the camera detects an impact, it will automatically record or save the block of recording from around the time the impact was detected into a protected folder, so that's great. It has wide dynamic range, so it's gonna create a little bit better video picture. It of course does loop recording, what DashCam wouldn't do loop recording. Has a parking mode, which is always nice for some parking lot security. Another very important thing that this camera does on the software side is the way that it protects and records videos when you go into the file and look at it on your computer. The files are displayed in a way you would expect, and the separate folder that saves your emergency events is easy to find. It's just right at the bottom. And this is where it protects all your saved events so that you can quickly and easily go and find them. And I'm not going to list every single software feature because there's probably 3 or 4 pages of menus where you can go through of features that aren't really necessary, but maybe nice to have for some people. So for software, overall, I think this is a great camera, and I will rate it at 5 out of 5 steering wheels. So some final thoughts. How about a question that everybody probably wants answered? Would I use this dash cam in my car? And the answer is yes, I absolutely would. The final score for this dash cam out of a possible 25 steering wheels is 21.5 steering wheels. So that's a B, it's 86%, and that's really good. $70 is a great price point to get into a dash cam, but without the micro SD card, it's a little bit challenging because you're gonna be forced to spend a little bit more money to actually make the product function. Video quality is just above average with great center resolution, but kind of some distortion off to the sides. And the hardware and software design are outstanding, far better than most dash cams I see. So all that combined, I think it's a great dash cam, and I would use it in my car, and I'm going to use it in my car because just yesterday, my other dash cam conked out on me again. So we'll continue to give this one a test, and I will let you guys know if anything changes about any of these scores in the future. I hope this was helpful. Thanks guys for watching. If you like the channel and you want to support it, don't be afraid to head over to my Patreon page. I really appreciate it. You can pledge as little as $1 per creation to help me continue making dashcam videos, make more of them, and make them better quality. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next dashcam episode. And don't forget, do not text and drive, because I will find you.